thank you very much for the introduction. I'm very happy to be here. And so let me first start to introduce myself a little bit. You will be astonished seeing somebody on the stage coming from a classical senior management role, which I had for more than 2 decades, and now speaking about blockchain technology, which is, at least for the companies we are discussing with, more an alien technology. And let me briefly explain why I'm doing this, what I'm doing today. So I've been in technology for all my business life, either selling technology or using technology to market and to sell things. So for instance, almost 20 years ago, I was responsible to build e-commerce as Deutsche Telekom. That was a part where I was using technology. And when I stepped out of the company Sharp, I was the head for Germany, Austria for 7 years. When I stepped out there in 2011, I did this, although I had a very good time, but I understood more and more the business for TVs or for photovoltaic is more and more a box business. So it's not like, okay, I wanted to sell technology, but it was more or less a box in number. And I wanted to target the next era, as I felt, for consumer electronics, which was smart home. So I really invested a lot of time and efforts to build smart home in Germany as the next big thing, but it didn't happen. And it didn't happen with me, and it didn't happen without me. And I did some other things. 2 years later, I thought to myself, okay, now it will be the time to go back to smart home and to make it great. It again didn't happen. I went to the States because I heard, oh, their smart home is booming like hell. And I learned the market was shrinking there already. And in that phase, Mr. Snowden came up, and I learned from him that to put your private data into a cloud computer is not the best solution. So I'm pretty sure that the not development into a big market of smart home and the like has to do with privacy, with security, and things like this. And a friend of mine who tried to convince me for months to dig into blockchain told me, if this is the point, if privacy, security, and so forth is the things, the problems you see that the market is going up, so why don't you take a look at blockchain? And I told him I heard enough about Bitcoin and blockchain, about pornography, about weapons, about all these illegal things. It's not so bad for me that I need to do that kind of business. And he said, no, wait. Please take some time and try to understand. And I did this. I did this in 2015 for 3 months. And I was, at the end, I was more frustrated because I had more questions than answers. And then I happened to get in contact with the University of Nicosia and to meet George Papageorgiou from University of Nicosia, and he helped me a lot to get a good understanding of what blockchain is, what blockchain can do, and that is the reason I'm today working in that space. A couple of months ago in May, we found a company with a partner together. I did this under the name ChainStep. And we have the motto, we want to bring the blockchain to the real economy. So we are doing this with consultancy, with training, and with implementation for our customers. We are doing this in Hamburg, in the very nice city to Hamburg. So you are invited to come not only to Tokyo, which is a great place, please come to Hamburg as well. Due to the reason that we want to be there where the real economy is. So Berlin would have been an option. Berlin is a hot place for blockchain, of course, as well, but we decided to do it in Hamburg. And here, again, are the pillars, what we are doing: consultancy, trainings, realization of customer projects, and from next year onwards, we will start to dig into own assets. When we discuss with our customers about possible blockchain projects, normally in every customer talk, we have the same questions like, okay, what is ongoing in my industry? Is there any competitor coming up? What are my today competitors are doing with blockchain? Is there any chance for us? And there, of course, are a lot of very interesting graphs on the web to look at, to understand how huge the potential is. But, of course, this is not very helpful for a company who wants to understand precisely what they could do with blockchain technology. So what we did over the last 1.5 years, we selected the most important use cases which are available in the blockchain space. It's definitely not all. We have around a little bit more than 400, you will see in a minute, but the most important in the industry where we are. We have then collected in different industry. We have got some further information on the blockchain technology, and as said, it's a little bit more than 400. And if you go through the different industry, so you see supply chain management, transport logistics is after finance, which of course is the leader, is one of the main fields where blockchain projects are coming up. And now let's have a look at this. You see a lot of articles about what you can do, tracking and tracing, provenance, chain finance, and so forth. So it can be said that from now on, blockchain is a kind of the next step of digitization of transport logistics. We are concentrating on this out of a couple of reasons. We see huge potential there. It's not so regulated. In Hamburg, we of course have with the harbor a fantastic network to discuss about this. And we have got certain use cases, what we found out, which are quite interesting to look at how to use blockchain there. It's document management, all this tracking and tracing, multi-party agreements, finance payment, and even things like additive manufacturing, like 3D printing in the industrial world. Let's look at a couple of projects first, which are out, and I will, at the end, just briefly touch upon 2 projects where we are involved. So everybody most probably in this room heard about this famous project of Maersk and IBM, which had been conducted at the very beginning of the year. I would like to touch upon one of Microsoft, who a couple of months ago announced a project with a company called Mogix. They are concentrating on RFID technology, and they, together with Microsoft, are seeking for the potential uses of Ethereum blockchain and smart contracts for inventory management, for provenance, and that kind of things. That is done at the University of Auburn. And if you look which companies are making some analysis there and some projects there, I expect an interesting outcome over the next couple of months. Even the retailers are more and more looking at blockchain. One is Walmart. They're doing in different areas. One of them is that they look at the transportation, and they just are seeking to patent a system that uses blockchain in the transportation with unmanned drones. So they want to, of course, track where the product is. They want to, of course, understand what happened with the product, with the temperature, and so forth. Whether this is more marketing or it will be next or the year after this live, we will have to see. But the combination of drones and especially overall Internet of Things and blockchain, of course, is extremely interesting in the supply chain management and transport logistics. The next one is more the marketplace. We are living in the Web 2.0 era with all this platform economy coming up. And we are more and more seeing approaches of platform economy in transport logistics and in other things in supply chain management as well. This is an example from Australia. This is in the agriculture. And they really have a very interesting and nice approach together with the community, with their users, to find ways how to have real-time payment, to have increased efficiency and transparency. They are quite far developed, meanwhile, have a lot of customers, and I think this is a very interesting approach. If we come to sea freight, there are a couple of platforms which have been built over the last couple of years. Not one platform is the by far market leader, so it might be that at the end a platform based on blockchain will be the one which makes the market. One example is here, a company called SKU Chain. They are located in San Francisco, and what they do is basically very close to what Michael Merz will present tomorrow with Enerchain, is that they build a platform based on blockchain technology, and you have the potential to add further services on your blockchain. Yeah, and in this case, they're doing this with inventory financing, with proof of provenance, and with security as well. So let me, at the very end, come to projects where we as ChainStep are involved. So please remember, ChainStep is today less than 5 months old. So we are already starting to involve ourselves in projects. One where we are very proud to be a part of the team. This is not a project which is already live. We applied for a funding project from the government with a consortium of 10 entities in Hamburg. And the idea behind this is to secure the consignment node, the digital consignment node via blockchain technology. That is one important part. Another important part is that we want to use, and you will see a graph in a second, that we want to secure the supply chain via oracles and so forth. We applied to this funding project by end of August. We expect in November the final go, and then we will start in our consortium in February next year. Just briefly, how does it look like? In the lower part, you see the existing platform, and there as well, we of course want to use smart contracts, and as I said, on the other side, we want to use smart oracles for understanding and measuring and securing the transportation itself. We want to use blockchain technology for the building of trust, and we will have services on top as well, and we will look at all transportation ways for this project. So once again, as said, it is subject to be confirmed, but it looks quite good, so otherwise I wouldn't present it here. Another one where ChainStep is not directly involved, because this is already a year running from now, but we are in a friendly way cooperating. That is something out of the area of industrial production. This is 3D printing. This is a project which has a target to secure the process of 3D printing and to steer the license management on the blockchain. Why? Because if you have a digital copy, if you have the data of a product, you can print an original. It's basically the same situation like you know from the music industry. And there are a couple of possibilities to secure the printing and the license management via blockchain. In this project, companies like Airbus, like Daimler, like NXP are involved, and a couple of universities. And here you very briefly see how it works. So the copyright owner just puts the license data, so a token basically, on the blockchain, and the data themselves, how to print a product, they are in a specific secured database, which is the standard for production. This is called OpenDXM, and this system is communicating together, and at the end, the license is sent to the printer, and you see on the right side a secure element where it is at the end secured that the printing is done in the right way, and it's only the numbers have been printed or the quantity had been printed which had been agreed upon beforehand. That is basically what I wanted to tell you about what we are doing. So our focus is to bring blockchain to the real economy. We are really looking at projects which can be implemented in 2017 or 2018. So we are always excited to hear about the broad future of blockchain, and we believe in it, but we try to come to real-world projects as soon as possible. Thank you very much for your time. And we have now 6 minutes for questions, because I have 1 minute left. So if there are any questions, otherwise we can save some time. Okay, there's a question. Anybody with a mic here? Oh, okay, there.
Can you go back to page 10, please?
Okay. It's not a test how quick it is possible.
No.
Oh, well, this is
11.
Okay. That one, yeah, okay.
Okay, number of projects is impressive and the blockchain in use, but for each blockchain there is a cryptocurrency used regarding being the fuel of the blockchain. What kind of blockchain are you using? How is it set up? Because I'm really not shocked, but by the numbers of blockchain in use, and is this working? Because
I went through this very quickly due to time. So not all of these projects have a specific blockchain behind this. Partly it's just announcement, yeah. So as you can see at the site beforehand, so you have got certain information, sometimes just an information, yeah, we are working on, or it's a conceptual phase, or it's already live. A couple of projects are, for instance, on Hyperledger. Yeah, a couple of projects are on Ethereum, yeah, and others are simply announcements, yeah. And it's not our projects, no? It is what we collected out of the information which are available in the market and just deliver to the market. So you can go there and have a look, yeah. You can select, you can go and say, okay, I want to see what's going on in the entertainment segment, yeah. There you see Ujo music, for instance, and Bind It, which is copyright as well, and that kind of projects, yeah. And you see announcement as well, like from Sony, they want to put ticketing system on the blockchain, which has to do with entertainment, that kind of level.
Okay, so most of these projects are based on the Ethereum platform?
It depends on, we have, I think, honestly spoken, I cannot tell you whether it's the most of them. I think a lot of them, might be a third or so. Some are based on Bitcoin. There are some based on Tendermint, for instance, yeah, on another blockchain.
And in what way? Because I'm still thinking about, is it just a DAO on top of the blockchain?
I think you're interpreting things into this site which are not intended to be there. It is simply our customer. If we are working together with a publisher, yeah, he says, okay, I'm interested to learn about blockchain and to understand what I can do. Do you have examples out of my world? And his world is publishing of books, for instance. Yeah, we have this exact case we brought the exploitation right to the blockchain. And he wants to learn about, okay, what is going on in the world in that area? And it might be that a company, a publisher, made some tests and gave the information outside, and we collected and put it there because we think for this publishing industry this is interesting. Yeah? Another case could be in the energy market, where you have, for instance, the very first case which had been presented on the Ethereum blockchain. This was in Brooklyn, this microgrid experiment beginning of last year. That kind of examples you find there. But this is just a tool for our customers. On the website, you find some nice articles which we collected where we think it helps the customers to understand blockchain. You find some videos and so forth. Okay, next question. Okay, please.
Very simple question. Which kind of alliances do you see in Europe developing? Which kind of big logistic or other kind of enterprises coming together with small startups? Do we see a European way forward into logistics, or is it something that is worldwide and we don't need to have frontiers?
So we have got some quite interesting projects at harbors. We have got one project in Rotterdam, one project in Antwerp, and one project in the Baltics, which are all interesting, not so huge. And I think it's good that they are not so huge. These are projects from 2016, 2017, and they will run until end of next year or end of 2019. Partly funded by government, partly by the EU as well. And on the other hand, what you can see now, that really the big forwarders, the big shippers and so on, they start to dig in. So you know about Maersk, yeah, what they are experimenting at these days. You can really name almost every big forwarder. He's in a way starting to dig in. And I'm expecting, without promising anything at the moment, that you will see in 2018 really, really strong approaches by world-leading companies in that space. Perhaps we phone beginning of 2018, then I could explain a little bit more, perhaps. Okay, then thank you very much again, and